Okay, so starting off at the very beginning, the first time I ever used eBay was when I was in high school, or as we call it here in the UK, secondary school. I used to use it to buy things every now and then, so I understood exactly how the platform worked, but it wasn't until I got to college, or as we call it in the UK, A levels, that I decided to sell my first item. And the reason why I decided to do this is because one of my friends at the time was selling t-shirts on eBay and he was doing it quite seriously, and I thought, you know what, he's making a little bit of money, let me copy what he was doing. So I did the exact same thing. I was buying t-shirts and different clothing items in bulk from various different places, and I was able to sell it for a profit on eBay. It wasn't a big profit, but it allowed me to pay for transport to and from college at the time. But as soon as I got to university, that's when I decided to stop selling on eBay so that I could focus on getting my degree. So I was at uni for around 3-4 years or so, and it was only until the last year that I realized that what was I going to do after I finished uni? I never had a job lined up or anything like that. So at the time, I decided to build up an eBay business once again because that's all I knew how to do. But the way that I decided to start selling on eBay around this point was by selling the used items that were lying around my house. Initially, it was mainly clothes that I started selling, but I moved on to a lot of the used shoes that were in my house, my sibling stuff that they weren't using anymore, my mum stuff. Because I already knew that clothing items sold well because that's what I was doing back when I was doing my A levels. I decided to sell a lot of the clothing items around my house. Even if they were used, they still sold, and I was able to make a decent amount of profit that I now use to invest into a more long-term way of building up an eBay business. But around this time, I was confused on exactly what I needed to do when it came to buying stock in bulk from someone that was going to be able to consistently supply me with it. So it took me around 6 months to, number one, figure out how to do product research, and number two, figure out how to do supplier research. At this point, I didn't realize that majority of the businesses all around the world, the big businesses that we all use, they're all importing stuff from suppliers in China. But as soon as I found this out, I came across a website called Alibaba.com where I was going to be able to find a supplier that was going to be able to source me with a winning product. So it's now down to me to do the right research, to find a winning product that customers are definitely buying. I'm going to be able to sell it, and I'm going to be able to buy it in bulk from a supplier using Alibaba.com. And this now brings me on to the biggest game changer that allowed me to see success, not only with my eBay store at the time, but with majority of the online businesses that I've built ever since, which essentially comes down to replicating what already works. And I was fortunate to come across an eBay seller that at the time he was making over $1 million every single month. And if he was able to make $1 million every month, I thought, you know what, if I replicate what he's been able to do in terms of the brand, in terms of the type of products that he's selling, then I should be able to make $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. So the main takeaway is that if you're able to see that someone is successful with a thing that you want to do, it's all about using reverse engineering, seeing exactly what they've done and implementing it into your own business. Now, at the time when I first started building my eBay business, I had to do things manually when it came to figuring out exactly how much money they were making. But nowadays, there's various different spy tools that you can use that you're going to be able to instantly see the money that an eBay business is bringing in. And to give you an example of what I'm talking about, let's assume that I wanted to build a business similar to this, selling office supplies. This eBay seller is obviously doing well because straight away we can see they have sold over 1.8 million individual items in total. They've got over 20,000 followers, and they've been able to maintain a decent feedback score. And just generally speaking, if I just scroll through all of their items, these are the type of products that hypothetically I could see myself selling as well. So to figure out exactly how much money an eBay seller is making, all you got to do is just copy the name of the seller just like this, come over to this tool, which is Zik Analytics, click on their competition research tool, and just paste the name of the business in there just like that, and then click on search. And then instantly, as you can see, it's going to be able to give you so much data when it comes to knowing if it's worth replicating the eBay seller store or not. Because as you can see over here, this store has been able to bring in over $330,000 in 30 days, which means that if you was to scroll down and look at the type of products that they're selling, it shouldn't be difficult for you as a brand new seller to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. So using a tool like Zik Analytics is definitely helpful for beginners because You're going to be able to spy on your competition as well as do various other things that's going to help you build your business. So if you wanted to sign up for a 7-day trial with them, you're going to be able to do that by clicking the link in my description down below. But once I was able to find an eBay seller that was selling products that I could see myself selling, and they were making a decent amount of income, from that point, I now needed to go over to Alibaba and spend some time finding a supplier. Now, I could make an entire video on this part of the story because you have to make sure that you're picking the right supplier. I had some issues with some suppliers because I didn't know exactly what to look out for. I lost money here and there, but after a lot of trial and error, I now got to the point where I was able to find a decent supplier that was able to sell me quality products. And literally, for me to have gotten to the point of making my first $500,000 on eBay, it was just a case of rinse and repeating everything I had done. Find a product that was selling well, go over to my supplier, buy it from them in bulk at a discounted price, list it on eBay using eBay SEO, ship it out to my customers Monday to Friday, buy more inventory from my suppliers, and repeat the entire process. Most people tend to overcomplicate the eBay selling process, but I believe it's one of the most simplest business models out there. Because eBay is a search engine and customers are searching for particular products, as long as you've made sure to maintain a healthy eBay account, for example, a positive feedback score, as well as maintaining a top rated seller status, then everything else that goes into it is straightforward. You just need to make sure that the products are available for customers to buy. And by being consistent whilst growing my eBay business, going through various different obstacles, various different challenges, I was able to accomplish my long-term goal of getting to $1 million. It's definitely been an amazing journey, and it's also been life-changing. My eBay business was the one that enabled me to quit my full-time job. It also allowed me to travel to various different amazing locations and just generally live a life of pure freedom. But since growing my business and being successful on the platform, I soon realized that it made sense for me to expand my operations onto platforms like Shopify as well as Amazon. But just generally speaking, when you get into business, you're going to realize that things are going to change slightly. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to make some adjustments. I still sell on eBay. I do some drop shipping here and there. And I also buy stock in bulk now and then as well. And I've also managed to sell some of my larger eBay accounts along the way for a decent payout. So for those of you that leave comments down below and you send me DMs asking, is eBay still worth it? Does it still work? The answer to that is yes. As I just showed you, there's multiple sellers that are making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, even up to $1 million every single month. And eBay as a website still generates millions of visitors every single day worldwide. So if you believe that you've got the necessary skills when it comes to finding good products to sell, listing them on eBay in the right way, maybe because you've been a customer, then it's definitely a good opportunity and you can definitely see success if you're able to stick with it. Now, if you're enjoying this video so far and you want to see more videos just like it, don't forget to subscribe down below, hit the bell notification. And if you wanted a little bit more of a step-by-step understanding when it comes to building up an eBay business as a complete beginner, then you can check out www.projectebay.com, because over there what I've done is laid out the blueprint for exactly what I needed to know for me to get to the point of making my first $10,000 every month with my first ever eBay store. All of the principles in this course are still relevant today, and if you're able to implement them in the right way and you're able to follow the course through, then your chances of being successful as an eBay seller are really, really high. I've had so many positive messages, so many positive feedbacks, a lot of good videos from previous students that have taken it. So I'm sure if you check it out, you're also going to benefit from it as well. So you can visit the website that's on the screen over here, or you're going to be able to click the first link that's in the description down below. And if you also want to watch another YouTube video that I made recently, where I go through some other tips, tricks, and hacks when it comes to starting a side hustle and being able to earn a passive source of income, you're going to be able to check that video out by clicking the link over there. Watch that straight after this because it's already helped out thousands of people, and I'm sure that it's going to help you out too. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you stay safe out there. Peace.